Welcome again to this fantastic training that we're going to be doing today. This is Russel Cowley, the Global Support Director for Rain International. I'm just very happy to be with you this morning as we take some time and go over the back office components as we have been doing over the last several weeks. Here again this week is probably getting into some of the most important and relevant content within your back office for the purpose of your organization and building, structuring, tracking, and watching the volume roll in. Of course, we all know and understand that the genesis to being able to go out there and build a business or build a group is, again, having passion about the product, understanding, again, that what we have here at Rain International as to respect to our foundation, who we are, what we really stand for, being the world leader of seed nutrition gives us an incredible leg up out in the marketplace. And so as we get individuals to be able to see the vision of what we are, what Byron has seen as, again, a company that focuses solely on seeds with our flagship product, Soul, of course, and our other fantastic seed-based nutrition. When we start really getting excited, we start using some systems and some tools that you're seeing roll out even more so ever than before here from Rain. We are really getting some awesome systems in place for you to utilize and you to use as you really take hold of some of the elements trainings that Byron's been doing, some of the other trainings that have been out there with respect to what Rain International is doing. That activity that you create becomes your organization. And they create orders, and then those orders are put into your system in your back office, and then you receive compensation from that. The continual residual orders that they put in for these fantastic products, again, will bring in that residual income for you. So today I'm going to go in and take just a couple of minutes on the orders tab within your back office. Fairly straightforward, but there's some key things I want to show you there. And then we'll talk about the organization tab. Very, very important. And I split this one up today as I want to give you appropriate amount of time without going too long on the organization. And then next time we'll have a organization part 2. So with that, let's go ahead and again remind everybody that when you log into your back office, you of course just will go into myrainoffice.com and of course put your credentials in right there. When it pops up, it'll pop up with your dashboard. It'll pop up with your key information right there. But once you get in, we're going to be talking about orders today. So you can go over to your orders tab, and we'll start discussing some of these highlights here. First and foremost, orders, again, are very simple, very straightforward. We really encourage everybody to go online. They can do it on their phone. They can, of course, sit behind their computer, or they can even call in to customer service wherever you are around the globe to help put those orders into the system. But as you do so, this orders tab and placing orders will really, again, lead them through that process. It's very intuitive, very simple, very straightforward. They'll come here, select their items and what they want, and go through that checkout process. When you have an order that's completed, underneath your order history tab, you're going to have here some of the tracking information. So if it's been a day and you're so excited to get the product, you can come in here, get that tracking number, and find out where that's at. It'll also give you the other information and details to that particular order, time, date, volume, and so forth. Also, when you go here to the Place Order tab, there's a fantastic webinar that Byron has done with respect to our new app and our new sample program. So here at the top again, you'll see where it says sample program or samples. You can buy those sample credits there. Now, what I'm going to show you today is different than what Byron showed you. Byron gave you a fantastic overview of what this sample program is, how it's utilized, and the overarching purposes of that. Here, we're learning how to take those things we've learned and apply that, put that into the system, and use that system for what it's designed, and that's, of course, to attract new people. So as you get sample credits, you'll go in, buy those, and go through that checkout process. Once you have those, you're going to be able to go in here to order a sample credit. You'll choose the country. Now, right now, all these countries that are listed here are not all the countries we have samples in. We'll continue to roll these out for other markets, but what's fantastic is as a U.S. distributor, here in the future, you'll have an opportunity to send those products, those samples, to another country that we are in. And then the program is then global and consistent. Now, not all the products will be available in every market. There are some little caveats to that. But ultimately, being able to have a resource like this that is going to allow you to send samples to anyone in the globe within the markets, of course, that we're open in is a fantastic and intelligent way to create exposure and get more volume and create a larger organization. When you go through this process, you'll, of course, just simply select which sample you want based upon the market that you are sending them to. That'll pop up there automatically. You'll fill in their shipping address, their shipping information. You'll, of course, want to make sure all that information is right, so double and triple check all that. And then you'll be able to have an opportunity to send those out. Now, what's great about this is that you're going to see here that there are some pricing that makes this sample program so tremendously beneficial for you. We've even put CV into these sample credits now as well. So as you get into this, you're going to start understanding that the value of being able to send a sample out and the cost of that marketing piece that we do on your behalf, as long as you go in, buy the sample, and give us the address, by virtue of using this system, you're going to create some magnificent exposure. So of course there's going to be some need to vet those individuals out. You know, if there's a cost that you're spending on this, regardless, you want to make sure that that's going to get into the hands of an individual that is indeed interested in at least consuming one box so that you can get your investment back. And then the real hope is that they continue to share as you share even more. But you can see here as the breakdown of the cost structure within this sample, we look at the Seoul only sample, for example, that you're going to be looking at about $22 for the cost. That's if you were to buy these pieces separately. But what we have done with the 8 credits, which would then cost you $16, you're already saving money that way. Plus the CV, it is again something that the tremendous generosity of what Byron's doing for our distributors is incredible. And as long as individuals buy into that and take this information, take these resources, no doubt will their organization grow. Now, under sample history, you'll be able to see all those individuals to whom you have sent samples to. Of course, we talk a lot about fortunes in the follow-up. It's a very famous statement, but yet it is so very true. And if fortunes in the follow-up, then we need to make sure we create those follow-ups. So here gives you an opportunity to call those individuals up. It's been 2 or 3 days. Make sure they've got their package. Make sure they're trying it. Make sure they get on the schedule. And then you work with them so that they, again, have that highest level of customer service from you, which is a paramount thing to provide so that they know that you have their back as they continue to buy the product and go out there and share it for themselves with other people. Now, within the organization tab, we're going to scoot over one here. We're going to talk specifically today about the tree view, the sponsor tree view, and the organization views. So more of a viewing mechanism today we're going to teach, and the next time we're going to teach about the volume and the structure of the ranks and how those really apply, again, to the growth of your business. So a couple of things I want you to point out here, first and foremost on this tree view section, is that over here on the right side, you can go in and regardless of the depth of your placement tree, okay, you can type in somebody's name and you can hit search on that and it will bring up the individuals that have an association to that name. There may be multiple, right? But then you can simply click here to have that individual populate within the tree view up at the top. So if you were to hit on that General Marketing Malaysia, it will put them right at the top that is within your organization. You'll notice just to the opposite of that arrow on the, not pointing towards the General Marketing Malaysia, but the other side, you'll see a couple of arrows that are pointing up. Those arrows telling you that that will push you back up into the tree to your position, which again is at the top. Now, there's some other ways to move individuals around within this tree view. If you, for example, want to run down and have this particular position, this Boydell test, you can even click on Boydell. That will move him to the top of the screen on the tree view. Or you can select the arrows on the bottom, and those arrows will push you all the way to the bottom of the left leg or of the right leg. So there's a couple of ways you can navigate through this, 3 different ways. You can search them, you can click on them, or you can arrow them, if that all brings together right there, okay? Now, back to the tree view, understanding again now how we search, let's look at some of the volume elements and some very key things to understand as you structure this out. This will save you a lot of heartburn and frustration if you really leverage this dual team for what Byron put it in as. We talk a lot how the seed is concentrated, right? All that DNA, that RNA resides in that seed. It's very, very concentrated. So Byron built a compensation plan that allows you too to be concentrated by sticking to an outside left and an outside right. Now, all that volume on the outside left or the outside right, regardless if somebody has put somebody on a inside leg to you, but again, it's their outside leg. I'll show you that here again in a moment. That's still all your left side volume or your right side volume. When we start talking about the structure and the placement, however, this is important because our compensation plan and the way that we have this built out, it's very, very important to understand that we have a sponsorship tree and then, of course, this placement tree that we're looking at. Of all the ways that we compensate, there is the one way through the dual team commissions, the view in which you see here. But everything else is based upon you sponsoring individuals. And then where do they get placed when you sponsor somebody? The next available position outside left or outside right. Okay? I'm going to repeat that. I've said that many times over the last 3 years, and I want to continue to make sure people understand that the outside left, outside right for you creates a tremendous amount of leverageability and then consistency within your organization. So again, as you go down, you build that, other individuals in your placement tree are going to do the same. So again, with this position, they're going to put their individuals on their outside left or outside right. Now again, why do we do this? Why do we really want individuals to grasp this concept? You can place somebody. The system lets you place somebody on an inside leg to you. But what that does is that takes away the concentration that this piece of the compensation plan is designed for. So now, rather than having 2, an outside left and an outside right, 1, 2, if you put someone on the inside leg as being the sponsor to that person, you owe it to that person to give them attention, time, energy, right? You are the parent to that individual, and if you place them on an inside leg, you've now diluted the concentration. Now there's 3, or if you put more, it could be 4. So now you're obligated to help this person out, even if it's just a 3-way call, which you should be doing very frequently, and you'll see that the new app utilizes. But in helping them feel as though their organization is growing, you can really partner in and help that particular individual if you keep them to the outside left, the outside right. So if you look back here on the screen where there is the red and the purple line overlap, that tends to happen. And then there tends to be a unification and a teamwork that really solidifies itself, and that's where that leverageability becomes so magnificent. Now, even if you place somebody on the outside left and they don't do it, but you continue to place people on the outside left and the outside left as you build out your outside right, then at some point they're going to see, by virtue of, I'll show you in the system, that they've got people in their tree. So what does it do? It motivates them to say, holy smokes, I've already got 5 or 6, 10 people on my outside left or whatever spot they're on in your organization. Then that gets them excited. And so they want to be able to go out there and start building this. So that consistency and that effort in keeping to that structure is going to be critical. But most importantly, it allows you to stay focused with your folks while creating that leverageability. Now, underneath the sponsorship tree, this is all the individuals that you personally have sponsored. The placement tree is where, again, you'll place your next available person, bottom left, bottom right. But that's also where individuals that are in your upline, in the placement tree, individuals in your downline, in the placement tree, are going to put people also. So that's why it's important to make sure that you note that the obligation that you have to build an organization, should you choose, is going to be that of understanding that the sponsorship tree is where you'll really need to continue to go out there and personally sponsor people. It's just an easy rule, a really easy concept, and that is always continue to personally sponsor and place those individuals the bottom left outside or the bottom right outside, and then go sponsor someone else and then do the same. But this will show you all the individuals that you personally sponsored. Now, you'll see that if there's a little plus, a little icon there, you can click on that and you can see what that individual, who they have personally sponsored, and so forth. So in this example, General Marketing Malaysia, they have personally sponsored 4 individuals. But what's really neat about this is that you can find these individuals in depth by just kind of clicking through. See, for example, Marketing Malaysia, they did 4, but Traxton, he did 1. Then Joe personally sponsored 1. Then Tyler personally sponsored 1. And then Sam, Lena, and then you get down to this test partner. Look at all that they've personally sponsored. So, as an individual that's in your sponsorship tree, they are giving you tremendous sponsor group volume. So it would be a fantastic thing for you to work through Traxton and Joe and Tyler and Sam and Lena to get down to that person. Make sure you get their contact information because they are clearly working. And then along the way, you can educate Joe and Tyler to say, do you guys realize that there is an individual by the name of Test Partner who's in your sponsorship tree who is absolutely going crazy and doing a fantastic job? Do you realize that you can leverage his growth by you also going out there and building? And even at that point, they say how? Just say, I'm going to go build a Rain Partner team, or you can help them get 2 people. Then those 2 can get 2 of their own. But this is a fantastic way to see who is in your sponsorship tree. Okay. Now we'll move over to organization volume. Under organization volume, there's 3 additional tabs. You can see them along the top. First is the placement tree report, and then we have the personally sponsored list, and then there is the sponsor tree list. So let's talk about each one of these. The placement tree report, remember, this is talking about the placement tree. So you'll see down here in this example that there are over 33,000 individuals in the placement tree of this particular account. There are about 1,400 new in the last 30 days, and then the percentage of growth to that. It lets you know how many are on the right leg and how many are on the left leg. So you can see here that clearly there's some focus to be put on the left leg of this position. But this is, again, in the placement tree. So what that means is this test account, of those 33,000+ people, they have not been sponsored all by Rain International, this demo account. But rather, it's them and everybody else that is in that particular leg and what they have done to contribute as a team effort to that leg, which again is such a tremendous and valuable tool in this space, in this industry, to be able to know that you already have team efforts when your upline and your downline do their part while you do your parts, which is what? Introduce, expose the products, recruit them into the business, to give them the opportunity to use our tremendous products and to go out there and share as well. Now, as you scroll down on the placement tree report, you're going to see a list of all the people that are in that placement tree. It'll tell you some basic information about them. Of course, because you didn't personally sponsor these folks, it's not going to give you an email or contact address or anything like that. But this is where you have an opportunity to start working through building your network within these individuals to create common ground. Even if somebody has been placed there by a different sponsor, for you to work to connect with that person through your upline and your downline demonstrates that there is going to be a unification of the effort that both of you are going to want to contribute. And how do you contribute? Just the basics. Go out there, expose, build RAIN partner teams, put the individuals on your next available spot, bottom left, bottom right. There's a lot of finite detail that I can show you here, but what does it all come back to? Just the basics, just the basic exposure, the basic recruiting, sponsoring people, and putting them again, the next available spot, bottom left, bottom right. I hope that's driving home today. All right, next list over is the personally sponsored list. Now this is exactly the people that you have personally sponsored. Along the top, it'll be all the RAIN partners, and of course it gives you phone number, emails, because you should know those already because you personally sponsored them. You are their, so to speak, parent, right? And then at the bottom of that screen is all the preferred customers that you have sponsored. You are, again, or they are clients of yours. So they are buying the product, hopefully on an auto ship through the company, giving them a better price and a little bit lower maintenance for you. But you should always check this. Why? Because maybe somebody went off auto ship. Oh, well, hey, what's going on? Is there a question? Is there a concern? Or do you even know? You know, what's kind of making sure that they're always plugged in? You know, letting them see. Of course, if someone comes into the customer who's on auto ship, chances are they just want to use the product because they see and understand the value in the product. But maybe they don't want to build a business, and that's fine. But they can be found right here as your preferred customers. And then the next click over is going to be your sponsor tree. Okay, so here's a difference, right? First there was a placement tree on the left side, and now we have a sponsorship tree. So this sponsorship tree, again, is the individuals that you have personally sponsored and stemming down through. So this is another place that you can find, if you recall back to the General Marketing Malaysia, underneath the sponsorship tree view, you can also find some of those details here by seeing their activity, by seeing this list grow. But as a little bit of a carrot for you to really look and pay attention, these individuals that are in your sponsorship tree are the ones that are contributing to your sponsor group volume. Okay? The individuals that are in your placement tree, they are contributing to your dual team commissions. As you look at the compensation summary table, you'll see that there are requirements from your dual team only up to 5,000 at the highest levels of the ranks of the RAIN International. Do you need 5,000 on the pay side or lesser side? You'll want to get and have a lot more, but as far as a requirement to rank advance, only 5,000. That's at the rank of a platinum. Because at the rank of a platinum and beyond, it transitions over to the back end of the plan, which really comes to the sponsor group volume. And who in your sponsor group, those individuals that you personally sponsored and what they have personally sponsored, what they have done to create volume for the requirements within that summary table. So again, what's really neat about this compensation plan, about the system, is we've laid it all out there. The information is there for you to be able to go capture what's happening on each requirement for you as you move up the ranks. Now, again, this information in the back office is very valuable. It's there for you to see. But if you want to just start with the basics, again, refer back to some of the overview presentations that we have discussed with the back office training, because this information is specific. We get into depth here. We get into really understanding who and where that volume is coming from. And that gives individuals that really want to grab the power of this business leverage, because then they see who are the individuals that are really working, so that they can put their time, energy into those folks even more as they grow, and then as you go and find those others and identify those people. Now, next time we're going to talk about the volume, organization rank, and your daily group report. Great pieces, great information, and perhaps maybe some of the most important, as we have an opportunity to work with some of the diamonds and above, the top leaders. This is where we go on a weekly basis. We look at the organization volume, and we're looking at the organization rank, because there's key things in here that I'm going to teach you next time that will be able to show, again, the who is working and what they need, allowing you to give a very targeted and specific phone call to those folks, letting them know what they need to do. And as, again, they understand that you are behind them, that you are supporting them, regardless if they are personally sponsored or not, okay? This report will show you who they are so that you can help them be more successful with Rain International. Folks, that's our back office training for today. Take some time, jump into your back office, navigate through some of those, click through some of those links. And again, if you run into any questions, feel free to call customer service or talk to your upline. In fact, I would highly recommend talking to your upline when you have questions, as again, it may be a teaching opportunity for them also as you learn and then teach your downline these awesome, fantastic components of the back office that leads to a wonderful opportunity to build a successful business with Rain International, who is the world leader in seed nutrition. Have a fantastic, beautiful day. Again, we appreciate and love all that you do for this wonderful company. Let's go make it rain. Bye-bye.